This lady stayed with her parents for 27 years and got kicked out. Why should you always have a property even if you have a roof over your head? And if you only have one property now, should you consider having another property? Today's video will be emphasizing about why you must have a property even though you have a roof over your head now. And if you really have one property, you might want to consider how you can have two property, maybe with your spouse or with your family members. Hello everyone, I'm Jia En and welcome back to today's video. Before I start, please help me to like, share and subscribe this video so that I can give more value-adding education contents for you. And I have a new Telegram group. Please help me to join this new Telegram group about Jia En new launches updates so that if there's any property updates, I can actually update through you live via this Telegram group. This is an article from Straits Times on May 13, whereby a woman actually lost a suitcase against her mum for evicting her after staying under her parents' roof for 27 years. So I'll be summarizing this article for you and also answer some burning questions that you might have regarding how this might actually relate to you, because if you're currently staying with your parents, should you continue to stay with your parents just to save money? And can you legally be evicted by your parents even though you're currently staying with them? And can you be truly financially free if you do not have a roof over your head? And is living with your parents for free costing you more than buying a property for your own? These are questions that are very interesting, because if you're currently staying with your parents, you might want to continue staying with them because it's free and you can get more money to spend for your daily expenses, and you might think that you can save more money, but is this actually costing you more in the long run? If you're already staying with your parents or you only have one property with your spouse, you might want to consider what can you do today as a buyer or seller and how this can actually apply to you. So in this article, there's a 62-year-old woman that sued her mum, which is 91 years old, for evicting her out of the condo and saying that she have a lifelong rights to stay at her mum's place for free for her entire life. And that's why she is unhappy that her parents actually kicked her out of the house. And due to a personal arrangement, it is important for her mum to let her stay in the house forever for rent-free. Is it right for her mum to actually chase her out, and do she have the right to stay in her parents' house since her parents have been allowing her to stay there for free for so many years, for more than 27 years? So in the end of the case, the High Court actually said that her claim is very inconsistent and lacks of credibility. It is right for her mom to actually evict her out after 27 years. And this actually highlights the importance of having your own property, because if you do not have your own property and you're still staying with your parents, this could one day happen to you. And also highlight the importance of not relying on your family arrangements, because you might be also staying with your brothers, sisters because of certain arrangement. If you still do not have your own property and are staying for free, this is very important for you to consider. Is it worth staying for free with someone else? And is it important for you to have your own security, independence, while having control over your own living decision? And that's why you can actually be protected from such unfortunate circumstances, and you need to plan about your own independence, have your own property, and you will be free from all this eviction. And in the event that you are actually chased out of your parents or your siblings' place, you have a place to stay and one more safety net for yourself. So let's move on to the burning questions. Since I'm already staying with my parents for so many years and I'm staying for free, why should I plan for myself, and why do I need to have financial independence when my parents will definitely take care of me and I'm only the only kid? So the first question here that we have is, should you stay with your parents' home forever so that you can save money? If you're already currently staying with your parents' place right now and you think that you will stay forever, is it important for you to think about one step further? So the answer I have for you here, yes, saving money is very important, but you need to think about the long-term perspective and your independence in the long run, because in the long run it's more about independence and stability. Staying with your parents will help you in the short term because they understand that it's not easy for you to earn money and save money while building up the capital for your own house. So while you save money, you need to save enough down payment for your own house, and also think about, after you save your down payment, what are the financial planning and timeline that you need to have so that you can actually get a place of your own and be independent afterwards. After you have a place on your own, it's okay for you to stay with your parents if they still prefer you to stay with them. At this point of time, you have more funds for your savings, and also your money starts to grow further. So while you save money, yes, you also need to consider what are your independence, have some confidence to make decisions and prepare for your own future, because we do not know what will happen to our parents' home in the future, and would they like for us to stay with them together forever. When you're staying with your parents forever, do you also think that what will happen to your parents' home if they need to have you at home? Maybe they cannot retire because maybe they are 65 years old now or 75 years old, and because you're staying at their place while you are having more savings, you're also compromising on their future retirement plan because they cannot downgrade or right size to the property. And that's why you can do this for a short run, but in the long run you need to think about what you want to do, and short run this is definitely not a thing that you should continue to do further. So in the short run you can stay with your parents, and in the long run you need to think what should you do next for you to be able to have more independence and for your parents to be able to retire comfortably, because they might need to retire based on the house that they have right now. Next, to summarize this article, can you be legally evicted by your own parents? Yes, in this article, you can be legally evicted by your own parents because your parents own the property and your name is not inside the property itself. And because your name is not inside the property itself, it's based on emotional bonds and also the relationship that your parents allow you to stay there for free. And that's why, it's legal for them to evict you out of the property if they feel that, one day they do not want you to stay with them together. And this is also explaining why it's crucial for you, apart from saving money, plan for your own future. How are you going to get your own property by yourself, be it BTO, HDB or condo? Start from somewhere, start small so that eventually you are ready to be financially independent and you are both comfortable, and same as your parents, they'll also be comfortable because both of you have choices to determine whether you should stay at your new place or you can still stay with your parents' home. This allows you to have choices in the end of the day. The third question that we have here is, actually I have more money when I stay with my parents and I think I can be financially free when I do not own a roof, which is a house over my head. So can you really be financially free if you do not have a house? In my opinion, the answer is actually no, because financial freedom actually means that you have control over your own life. And in this case, if you do not have control over your life in terms of where can you stay, do you have ownership to the house, or are you currently having a legal tenancy renting from your mother itself, then you do not have the financial say of where you can stay at the end of the tenancy, and your decision actually lies on someone else's decision, which is your parents or your siblings in this scenario. So in this case, it's actually very important for you to own a house because this actually means for stability and you have the decision to do what you want to do in the future, whether you want to continue stay with the house or rent the house that you actually own to someone else. So it's very important for you to be having an asset, and if you do not have an asset still today, you are actually not financially free. Please do not think that staying with your parents will mean that is financially free, because you're actually compromising their financials and they might not be able to rent out the room to someone else because they are giving to you rent free. And the last question is actually, renting free from your parents, does it actually cost you more than you actually realize? Yes, it's actually costing you more than you actually realize, because when you're renting free, right, you are not taking the capital appreciation from your property because you are not buying a property. So there could be capital appreciation that you are forgetting from that point of time, and also you are not making use of your CPF and also the loan to leverage on your age span so that you can actually let your money grow with the property appreciation in Singapore. And in the long run, your financials might not be as best as your friends of the same age because you're actually priced out while you're just waiting for your parents to let you stay there for free, and you're not saving as much money. You're not doing this for savings for your own property. So in the long run, your savings might be actually smaller because you do not force yourself to save for the property, and staying with your parents for rent free is not efficient if you do not save and invest your money. That's why in the long run, it will actually cost you more money. So these are the 5 golden principles of property investment that I always share with my clients. In this scenario, you should always start saving and investing as early as possible, because if you do not invest into yourself and your own property, like similarly to this case, you will be evicted from your parents' house or from your tenancy agreement because you did not have this place that you own by your own name. And always aim to increase your net worth, invest based on numbers. So look at your funds, how much money do you have to buy for your property. If you can start small, do not need to buy the biggest house and the most perfect house. Start small from the numbers and savings that you have. Buy for the future and not the present. Think about when you're buying in the future, how much will the percentage of capital appreciation be, or how much forced savings will you have at the end of the day, or how much rental income will you have because you did this step 1 in the first place. And always remember to set aside 18 months of emergency funds so that in the event that something happened to you, unfortunately like health illnesses or unemployment, you are actually covered fully. It's really very important for you to be covered in terms of all these aspects so that you can control over your life and do not be evicted by your family or your brother, sister, siblings because you are currently staying at house for free. So for the audience who are currently listening to my video, if you are still staying with your parents, do not delay your property journey for too long, because there's opportunity cost, as I mentioned earlier. You're not making use of your CPF, your loan, and also the capital appreciation and the property price trend in Singapore itself. So think about how you can actually buy a unit soon by yourself so that you're covered by yourself, and also use this time while you're staying for free in your parents' home or siblings' place to think strategically how can you actually save more money and be more aggressive in terms of your investment. If you are staying for free, then perhaps you can save more money because of this 1,000 or 1,500 rental from your parents every single month. Use this money to help you to save more money and compound through your property, and plan how you can be independent. So buy a small unit instead of not buying any unit. Sometimes you might think, I want to buy a 3-bedroom, but if you can afford a 2-bedroom or 1 bedroom, get a small unit first. In the future, when there is capital appreciation, then we plan for a bigger unit. And for sellers, which is for parents who are currently staying with the children, do not let your children hold back, because as I mentioned earlier, you might need to right size your property so that you can actually have funds for your retirement. So if you really need the right size, then explain to your children nicely how this will actually impact your retirement fund, and have this planning or conversation with your children early so that they can understand and also plan for themselves, so that it will actually be beneficial for you as a parent and for your children, because you plan early and you don't need to make this situation so ugly such that the 62 years old and the 91 years old parents and children actually go to court because they have this agreement about whether the children can continue staying in the development itself. So this comes to the end of my video. Remember to help me follow my Telegram over here, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me over at my contact number on top, 94314533, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.